I'm covering Thomas Markle and his quote unquote friend. This is Carl Larson. He's the person who took pictures of Mr. Markle just before Meghan's wedding, and he told him to look through a book about England and then to have some kid look like he's measuring him for a suit, and that became a joke with the royals because of course they're not having him in some shabby place getting measured for a suit, and he doesn't have to read a book about England in order to be at his daughter's wedding. It was totally stupid, and so Mr. Markle got a lot of backlash for that. And now this guy knows he can make a buck off this old man, and he has now, gotten this YouTube channel. As Mr. Markle said, they just found YouTube, and they're going to be doing YouTubes in order to harass and bully Meghan and her children. It's very common for people not to be with their parents after a certain age, and a lot of people after they get married don't see their parents for many, many years. It might be 10, 20 years they don't see their parents as they embark on their new life. But Mr. Markle seems to think that Meghan owes it to be still sitting with him, and he's escaped to Rosarita, California, far away from his children. His children don't live in Rosarita. I think one lives in Florida. I think that's Samantha. And I don't know where Thomas lives. And then he has grandchildren by both Samantha and Thomas, I believe. And I don't know where those kids are, but I'm sure they're not in Rosarita. So it looks like to me that he really wanted to get away from his family. He wanted quiet. He wanted peace and quiet. He didn't want to be bothered with a bunch of people, especially his family. But now this guy, this photographer, and you see he has his camera sitting up there as an advertisement if somebody wants to hire him. And now he's got this Mr. Markle, whose brain is gone. I believe he did many years of drugs and so forth while he was working in Hollywood as a lighting director, Hollywood parties and so forth. And now he's able to make money by abusing, harassing, bullying his family. And this man wants to make some money. And Mr. Markle is the target. If you haven't seen elder abuse, it's very common. If you're young, you haven't had anything like this happen to you. It happens to almost everybody who becomes elderly. People see what you have, what you possess, they can get from you, and then they work to get it from you because that's how they profit. That's how they make their money, and it's at your expense. In this case, this man is taking Mr. Markle further and further from a relationship with Meghan and her children. All of this stuff is doing nothing but hurting his relationship with his family. And I don't think he really cares about having a relationship with this Larson character.
So maybe on our first episode, since this is in the news, this book.
Yeah.
I thought Meghan had nothing to do with this book, but apparently she forgot.
Well,
that
yeah.
She had. Explain.
Well, I don't think you forget. I don't think you forget. I think you lie. And I think the book is full of lies. And I'm certainly pulling for my oldest daughter, Samantha.
Right now, so to my understanding, Samantha has now put a complaint together for defamation of character against Meghan.
Yes.
So it's your one daughter versus your other daughter.
Yes, but my oldest daughter, Samantha, has been fighting MS for since she was a teenager, and
oh, really?
With
I didn't know that.
Now, see, that's a lie. He knew, after all these years, he must have known Samantha has MS and has been fighting MS since she got it. And so he's lying. He's trying to say, oh, I thought she was healthy and doing well. One of the biggest things that Samantha yells out every time that she talks is that she's disabled. She has MS. She's in a wheelchair. There are even pictures of her in the wheelchair. So that's a lie by the photographer.
And with all of those problems, she's been able to accomplish two degrees, a master's and in psychology, and
wow. And so she got a bachelor's and a master's then.
A bachelor's and a master's, and she also wrote a great book, and she's about to write a second great book. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, I'm very proud of her, and in this particular book and in this particular case, I think she certainly should win because the book is full of lies about her. And,
Thomas, you know, in a case like this, especially in a civil case, they may call you to, you know, for a deposition. Would you be willing to do that?
I would be more than happy to. I've been trying for almost 4 years to get to see my daughter and her ginger husband in a court.
And see, that's racist. Saying ginger husband is just like saying black husband, white husband. You don't have to go against Harry just because he has red hair. That's racist. And Mr. Markle, you shouldn't be saying that.
Courtroom, face to face. I haven't seen them face to face, and I haven't seen my grandchildren. So no, I'd be thrilled to come to court and talk and defend my oldest daughter.
Wow. Okay. But you say you hadn't seen them in court. You must have met Harry when he asked for your hand, and
he never came. He never came to.
And see, that was a setup. These are all set up questions and answers because we all know that Harry asked for Megan's hand in marriage over the phone. Now, Megan was 40 years old, and this is her second marriage. So technically, she is beyond the state of having to have her father give her away. At 40 and on your second marriage, you're just happy that they're getting married and that they found somebody they like. So I don't know how many times Mr. Markle expects to give his daughter away. And I think a phone call was probably perfect.
To ask for my, he did it over the phone. I think he could have. I thought that the royals have to have some kind of sense of dignity, where he would have taken the time to fly down to see.
Yeah, he would have flown down to see you if she were 18 or 20, but not when she's 40.
And at the time he was in Canada, so it would be a short flight down to see me. It's nothing. But no one came down to see me. No one came to protect me or help me when I was discovered by you and by all the press.
So this guy was part of the paparazzi that were bothering you every day as you went into the store and came out with your food and your beers. And this is the guy who was taking pictures of you and harassing you.
I got no help from anyone.
you were just left to fend for yourself, basically.
Well, I kept saying I need help, and the only answer was from Harry, and he said, the best advice I can give you is just don't talk to anyone, ever. He said, never talk to the press.
And he's talking to the press right now.
Okay.
So that didn't really work for me.
Sure.
I was hounded by the press for a good couple of years. and that takes a lot out of you, and people can see that it did a lot of damage to me for a while, you included, and
Yeah.
thank God you helped me. You helped me get out of it. So,
It's pretty amazing that he doesn't want you to talk to the press, but yet he and Meghan love talking to the press.
Well, Harry was raised in the press. He's a royal. And he was photographed from the second he was born until today. And so he's familiar with the press. Meghan was trained to like the press because she was an actress. And that's how they publicize their shows. So they both like to talk to the press for different reasons. They're not bashing their family. They're just publicizing. And Harry's just saying hi. That's all he knows is the press.
Well, it amazes me that a man that tells me don't talk to anyone rides on the top of a bus down Hollywood Boulevard doing an interview. It amazes me that they go on Oprah Winfrey for hours and sit there and talk and expose things they shouldn't be exposing to anyone.
Right.
And I think it's so disrespectful to the royals. I am basically what you'd call on the Queen team.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure the Queen loves having Mr. Markle on her team. With people like that on her team, the place will be falling down in a week.
Okay.
And I have great respect for all the royals.
Well, that's a lie. He has no respect for the royals. And he wants to humiliate them. That's all he's doing.
Right. Well, the two of them on the Oprah interview basically called them all racist, right? The British people too.
I've explained this before. I thought that whoever asked that question asked it innocently. I don't think it was meant in any racist way. It's a curiosity. Even when before Meghan was born, people, my friends, and Doria's friends, would say, "I wonder what color the baby is going to come out."
Right.
But it wasn't. There was nothing racist or mean about it. It was just curiosity.
No, I understand. My wife is actually from Brazil, and her mom said the same thing.
Exactly.
You know.
Well, that's what I like. Two white men deciding that this was not racist. It could have been racist. It could have been innocent. But that's their interpretation. They interpret it as not racist. Somebody else, Meghan, who is biracial, interpreted it as racist. We can't say. We weren't there. And these two can't give it a saying on it one way or another because they weren't there either.
You don't know what you're going to get until you get it.
You don't know if the child's going to have brown eyes or
Meghan
brown hair. Or...
Beautiful little girl, beautiful little mixed girl.
Right.
I even had to argue with the doctor and have him write that she was mixed on the birth certificate.
Oh.
Because he wanted to mark down black. I have no problem with it, whether it's black or white, but in my mind, it should have been marked mixed.
Right.
Well, maybe the doctor's racist. I mean, you could have put down white or black, but the doctor chose black. Why? Maybe he's racist.
And that went through even her school. And she went to school. They were passing out papers in the 7th grade, and you had to mark down what race you were.
Okay.
And I told her she had a problem. She thought if she wrote black that it would offend me. She thought if she wrote white it would offend her mother.
Right.
So I said, draw a little box of your own. Say mixed. Say who your mom is and who your dad is, and I'll defend you.
Oh, great. And did she do that?
She did that.
Oh. Well, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good that
It
you
worked
did
fine.
that.
And you know, the school she went to, there were no kinds of problems at the school she went to. There's a nice mix of all kinds of people.
This was Immaculate Heart?
Yeah, there's Asians there, there's a lot of Armenians there, there's a lot of blacks, a lot of
Hispanics.
It's a nice mix of people.
Okay. And there would be very little racism at that school.
I never saw any racism there at all. None.
Well, naturally, he didn't see any racism. He's a white man. He's not going to see racism. The person who's going to see racism is the black person, or the person who's considered black. That would be Megan. She may not tell him about the racist incidents that she encountered at her school, and so he wouldn't know about what happened to her on a day-to-day basis, or what kinds of things people said to her, because she's not going to report that kind of stuff to him or to anybody. Those are her experiences, and what she says has to be her truth. So if she said she had racism, she must have had some racism.
Not at all, ever. And I never saw any grouping. They never gathered in groups. They were just all mixed.
And when you say you never saw, you actually never saw, because you actually worked at the school, right? Volunteered?
I was there all the time. I helped them with their little theater. I helped them build their stage and build their sets and light their sets, and very enjoyable. All those girls worked very hard and loved being part of theater. It was very nice, good experience.
And
as a reminder, he was a lighting director in Hollywood, so he knew how to build lighting for a stage.
You basically turned their auditorium into a theater, right?
Yes.
Was that with your help?
It was what you call a gymatorium.
Right, because it's a big room, but they need it for multiple purposes, right?
It's got a basketball rack in it, and it's got a...
And you have to question, did he steal some of that equipment from his job to make that change in the school? Or was all of that stuff purchased? Well, we'll never know.
A stage, and we bought some curtains, hung some curtains, we hung some pipes, and...
the pipes meaning like a rod of lights? When you say a pipe, you don't mean like a plumber's pipe?
No, we hung pipes out in the house.
Okay.
And put a light board in.
Oh, I see.
And made it a theater, and put curtains in, put wings in, and turned it into a theater.
Oh, wow.
They could rent that out as a theater at any time
because of the work you've done at that school.
Absolutely.
Wow. Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens with this. I don't want to get off topic right now, but let's get back to everything that was said in this book against Samantha.
Book is full of lies.
Full of lies. They mentioned that Samantha had three marriages.
That's not true.
That's not true.
She had two marriages.
Two marriages.
2 children.
And she had the children had different fathers. That's not true.
Well,
from 3 different fathers.
No such.
So that's not true.
No.
Right.
Okay, well, Megan wouldn't know that stuff because she was too young. Samantha was 16 years older, and so while she was out having sex and marrying people, Megan was very little, and Samantha wasn't living, from the story I hear, she wasn't living with her dad, so she was either with her mother, who lived in a different state, and so everything that Megan heard would have been rumor. She would have not known how many times Samantha got married. She would not have known her husbands. She would not have known the babies because Samantha was so much older than Megan that Megan really was living her own life and really was not involved in the life of her sister or her brother. And they're half-sisters, half-brother.
So there are a lot of things that are not true.
The book is full of lies. There's a lot of lies in the book.
Wow. So it's going to be interesting in this lawsuit.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. There are so many obvious lies that are immediately challenged that I can't imagine Megan even going into court with this. I'm hoping. I think she should settle, just plain settle, because
she make it go away.
She can't defend the things she said.
That lawsuit is frivolous, and it's just Samantha venting. She's angry, she's upset, she's jealous. She's always hated Megan, and if you look at Samantha's graduation picture, she's leaning away from Megan. She doesn't like to be near Megan, and the lawsuit is just another aspect of Samantha's hatred for Megan.
Right. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Well, thank you, Thomas, for your time today.
This is my first time with this
right,
with you too, so forth, and
Thomas is padding all of his notes. All those papers down there are notes that he made of things he was supposed to cover on this YouTube video.
And let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. We can talk about.
I'd like to be a part of this group of people. I like these people, and I'd like to be a part.
I've seen their shows. They're amazing. Each one that you mentioned are my favorite as well.
I'd like to meet them, and I'd like to talk to them, and I'd like to communicate and keep in touch with these people. Listening to them taught me a lot of stuff I didn't know today.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
So you learn about your life basically through Lady Colin Campball.
Absolutely.
And through According to Taz.
Absolutely.
And P. Dina, who I love P. Dina, and Sue with Just Chatting on Thursdays and Sundays.
Like I said,
she's a detective.
A lot of wit and a lot of charm, and it's well worth the time.
Yeah, and hopefully people watching this show could subscribe to those shows that we just mentioned, because they're fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
What I would say for Meghan and Harry, they should file papers to have Mr. Markle evaluated mentally to see whether or not he's under undue influence, whether or not he has a mental disorder, whether or not he's being abused as a senior citizen. And if they find that he is being abused or undue influence, and that this is ruining his family and his relationships, they can make it so that this paparazzi don't keep bothering him and making his family matters worse and ruining any chance he might have to even see Meghan or her children. But in the meantime, he can always visit his grandchildren and great-grandchildren from Samantha and his son Thomas. Like and subscribe. Thank you.